Hi, everybody. We're back again. I'm here with my lovely lady friends, and we're going to go through another book today. Before we start that, let me pray in. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this time together. We thank you for everyone watching, whether now or in the future. And we hold truths that we know that your truth is in every word, every connection, every feeling, every thought. And we know that you are with us, guiding us, and that those that need to hear the message hear your words and your intention and your love to them, as we are the messengers together where two or more are gathered, you are with them. And we are so grateful, Lord. Thank you. Amen. All right. I have this book. Let me see if I can get it on here. Oop, nope, it's not going to show. There we go. It's an oldie. It's called A New Way of Thinking, which is kind of ironic because it's an older book. But the chapter in it is about guilt. I'm trying to see if it has a date on when it was actually published. 1979. Ooh, ah. So it's not as old as some of the ones we talk about. But I want to read just a little bit out of the chapter of getting rid of guilt. And the author says, Charles Roth says, the teachings of Jesus offers us a framework that help to grow spiritually, unfolding Christ of our being that has been enfolded within our soul nature from the beginning of time. In order to free this essential growth process, we need to understand and release the limitations that we have placed upon ourselves through error thinking. Surely a perennial error thought of mankind and a major impediment to our soul's unfolding is the concept of guilt. A letter I once received seemed to capitalize this problem. The writer explained, how do I keep from kicking myself for worldly mistakes? I've tried saying to myself, this just goes to show you that I'm not God, that I'm far from perfect. So I try a little harder to give the situation my undivided attention and common sense, often just to find myself becoming more tense, therefore making more errors. I can't get rid of this guilty feeling. As we feel with the writer of this letter, surely we can supply our personal example of how much human error from our own life. Have you ever felt like kicking yourself for a mistake? Well, he goes on and on. This is really an awesome book. I like it. I've read it several times. I'm not even really sure where I picked it up at, but guilt is a major thing for me. I remember that early on, when I first started in 12 steps and in unity, I used to say, make the comment, I'm my own worst enemy, because I was always making choices. And not only, it wasn't just a bad choice that I made, or I felt like I made a wrong choice. Then I would beat myself up for days or months or even years before I would finally get rid of it, get rid of the feeling that I was guilty of something. And I mean, I would get sick to my stomach. I mean, I was one of those ones that anytime that there was a really strong emotion, you know, I couldn't hold anything down and stuff like that. So after much practice and a lot of learning with Unity and a lot of learning in 12 steps, I started getting to the point where I could understand that a mistake is not a life sentence. It's just a mistake. And then the time between making the mistake and how long I carried it shortened. And sometimes I could recognize it quickly, and sometimes it would still take a while. But as I noticed and became aware that the time shortened and shortened, I never have been able to not make mistakes, but the guilt that goes with them is completely changed now, because I know that it's a lesson. I know, and I knew it took me probably the first 15 years of, going to Unity all the time and being in 12 step before I actually got to the point where I could just immediately say, that was a lesson. Now sometimes things still come up. and I have to take them in with prayer, and I don't have to, I choose to take them into my prayer. I choose to work my own understanding of how to get through them and see what it was I was feeling and how I was drawn to this and all that other stuff. But that long lasting guilt that I used to carry around for forever has really receded, and it's just such a weight off the shoulder. And if I could give anyone out there listening to us anything at all, I would say, let go, let go, let go, because it's a lesson, not a life sentence. So I wondered if you guys might want to share about how you get through guilt to learning that it's lessons, or whatever, in whatever way you understand it to be.
Well, I really, really like the way you put that, Becky, just the way you explained it. I think it's something we all struggle with. Somebody once told me, or I read, that guilt is a useless emotion unless you're willing to do something about it. Just the emotion of guilt, just sitting there, and it eats away at you. But if you don't do anything to change that, then it just stays, and it's like an amoeba inside of you that's just constantly, there's a constant irritation. And I think and I think we learn it as a child to feel guilty. You tell your child, shame on you. I hate those words. I hate those words because it instills something that makes the child feel that they're just not worthy and they should live with that guilt. And I had those words spoken to me. So I deal with guilt in a way that says, okay, so what am I feeling guilty about? Do I need to make an apology for something? Or what I'm feeling guilty about, maybe I'm feeling guilty about, the fact that I got divorced when, I would had my children, and I think, well, wait a minute, look where we are today. Look at how far we've come. Let go of that guilt. Yeah, I wasn't what I had designed, but look where we are and look how happy we are. So for me, that's being able to reconcile the guilt, not just let it sit there and simmer, but do something with it. So thank you for bringing that subject up. I think it's something that all of us are going to be able to identify with.
Mhm.
Yeah, what a can of worms. I was raised in an environment where I was constantly told, this is your fault, whatever it was. And I would be told if I didn't eat my food that I was ungrateful because people were starving in other parts of the world. And I felt like that was my fault. And it was 12 steps and then Unity that really taught me the difference between guilt and shame. And my issue was shame. And they say that the difference is, in case you haven't heard it, that guilt is I made a mistake and shame is I am a mistake. And I carried a whole lot of shame for a long, long, long time. Guilt hasn't really been that big a deal for me. I make mistakes, whether I intend to or not, I make mistakes. And I know that that's how I learn. And I know there have been instances where I've had to do it every wrong way before I was willing to try it the right way, because I'm a little stubborn that way. And that's okay. And I don't get in trouble with guilt as long as I'm not trying to appear better than I am. If I'm trying to convince people that I'm perfect or I'm all that, then any mistake threatens my credibility, and then I've got real problems with guilt. I have found that if I admit my mistakes, and honestly, I try and admit them before anybody finds them. I use the copier example because I have a relationship with printers and copiers. Anybody who's worked with me knows it's bizarre. But if I have managed to jam or ruin the copier again, I will try and tell you the minute you walk through the door that I've done it. And here's why. If you need to get some paperwork copied right now and you go and find that the printer is messed up and you have to find the jam and go through it, it's going to slow you down. Your anger just goes all over the place. But if when you walk in the door, I say, hey, because I'm always there first, right? I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. The printer says it has a jam. I can't find it. You're immediately going to want to help me. And you're going to share your own experiences. Oh, maybe I know I did the same thing yesterday. It changes everything. So when I make a mistake, I admit that I was wrong and I try my best to make it better. And another piece is not carrying someone else's feelings. If I do something and you're offended by it, I need to check my heart. Did I do something to offend you? Was I trying to upset you? Is there a part of me that really doesn't like you and wants to ruin your day? No. So my mistake was pure. My intentions were good. You're allowed to have whatever reaction you want to, but I know I was in the right place when I did it. So guilt isn't a part of that. One thing I'm working on today, and hopefully I'll get it today, I haven't got it this day, so perhaps I'll work on it tomorrow, is to quit apologizing so much. I start with, oh, I'm sorry. And instead, I'm trying to start with thank you. Instead of, I'm sorry I'm late, thank you for waiting for me. It changes the energy, just those little words. I still catch myself saying, I'm sorry way too many times. I'm really working on that. And saying instead, thank you. You know, thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for finding that for me. Thank you for picking that up for me, whatever it is, instead of, I'm sorry, I dropped it, you know. So there's my 2 cents, 5 cents on guilt and shame.
Thank you, Linda. That was awesome. And you touched on something that I can align with. And it took me a long time to get to this point also. I had a situation the other day where I was planning a trip to Guadalajara to Costco in the mall. And another girlfriend had offered to let me go with her to the other Costco on the other side of Guadalajara. But she had been ill and for 2 weeks postponed. And I just decided, I'm ready. I'm going to do this. I've never driven to Guadalajara. I'm going to take the risk and go shopping. My little girl wanted to go shopping too. So I didn't include her in the group. And a woman that was going to go with her found out I was going. And in front of her asked if she could come with me. And I only had one seat left. And I thought Andrea, the lady that had been saying I could go with her, was firm. She was going another day to the other Costco. So I told this woman, sure, you can come. Well, then a day or two later, I met with Andrea and she goes, well, that really hurt my feelings that I didn't get included. And so I went inward for a moment because I knew I didn't purposely not include her. I was talking to Karen and that worked. And I thought Andrea had her plans firm. And I only had one seat left, but I didn't get defensive. I just listened and I spoke from love. And I am so sorry. I would never intentionally not include you. I love you and love to do things with you. And she heard it. And we were okay with the conversation. Lovely friend. She just needed to be heard and to be included, if possible, the next time. And I didn't go for years feeling guilty that I didn't think to invite her. It would have been really uncomfortable to cram 5 of us in that car. And so that's been my personal growth, like you're saying. I know that other people's feelings, I'm not responsible for their feelings. She shared it, it moved through. And I am so grateful we had that conversation, that she didn't stop it and then get mad at me and push me away. But I was really grateful that I'm in a place where I can be with people in their emotions and love them and support them through it, and know that the moment I walk away or the phone call ends, they're transformed and they're not even in that feeling anymore. So why should I carry the hurt and the guilt for years around it, that I did something wrong when I didn't? It happened the way it happened. So yeah, that's a great topic. And wow, we're always growing opportunities, definitely. So does anyone else have something they'd like to share before I pray us out? All right, let's just take a few deep breaths and just sit in the silence a moment. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Source, for this time in connection, knowing there is nothing that we ever do wrong. The guilt is just a mistake. It's not even a mistake. It's something, it's another feeling we move through, and we let it move through. We feel it for a moment, but we don't embody it. We know that perfection happens, growth opportunities out of this beautiful opportunity for growth. It just keeps happening, more and more growth in so many different ways. And I say, thank you, Source, for a deeper understanding of how to move through growth opportunities, and to forgive ourselves, and to release guilt, just to let it go. Thank you, Source. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, ladies. I just love sharing topics with you. You guys are amazing, and just everybody hit on such perfect stuff. And thank you for joining us and watching today, and subscribe and leave comments and let us know what you think. And if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you, and join us tomorrow for something new. You have a great and blessed day. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments, which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.